Hey guys, welcome to yet another Instagram Live. And today the session is about physical fitness. Most importantly, importance of physical fitness for entrepreneurs, having the importance of active lifestyle. And today, my guest is going to be Kunal Rajput. His Instagram handle is Subtle Strength. So I'll quickly wait a couple of minutes for Kunal to join and then let's get started. So yes, Kunal is already there. Let me uh, request him to join the live. Super. Okay. Hey Kaushik, good evening. How are you? Hey, hi Kunal, how are you?
I'm good. You can hear me properly, right?
Yes, I can hear you. It looks like you just had a workout done.
Yes, I was doing a session, corporate based session. So
Okay,
yeah, and yeah. Wait a second, huh?
perfect. Yeah. I think there's some lag in the voice as well. So can you just quickly fix that and then we'll get started? So before Kunal kind of comes back and he joins us, let me quickly give Kunal's brief. Kunal is a fitness expert and also a fitness influencer. He runs a startup called a company called uh, The Moment. He also started an Instagram private club called The Unlock, and yes, he's one of the four Nike coaches across the country. So I think he's one of the very young and dynamic fitness experts out there. And I'm very sure today's session is going to help a lot of you in understanding nuances of fitness. We're going to talk about diet. Going to talk about nutrition. We're going to most importantly talk about yeah. So he's just going to join the back. So he's going to talk about workouts, different kind of workouts, things like that. So I'm very excited for today's chat with Kunal. And I had a chat prior with him before the session, and I think there are a lot of insights and learnings we're going to get today from this session with Kunal, which will help us and of course motivate us to kind of get us some sort of a jump in our uh, lifestyle in terms of making it active. So yes, let me try and add him back. Perfect. Better. Okay. So I have already given your introduction to everybody. But once again, first of all, thank you so much for being on this session. Importantly, just after doing a workout, I am sure you must be exhausted right now. So I think you
No.
had, okay, you had your drink and everything along.
Yeah.
Uh, it's still shaky, but I think let's continue. And if it's not stable, we'll kind of
Okay.
restart
We'll
the
we'll
live or
switch.
whatever, right? Okay.
Okay.
So three things I want to upfront bring about Kunal, which I told to the audience as well. He's one of the fitness experts and an influencer, already a celebrity trainer, one of the four certified Nike coaches, and he's an entrepreneur himself. He runs a fitness startup called The Moment, and he runs a private Instagram channel called The Unlock. So, if and I know that there's a lot more to it. So, over to you, Kunal. Can you tell our audience what do you do? A bit about yourself.
So I basically started off my journey in fitness as a person who just used to love imparting his knowledge when it comes to like, okay, I learned doing this movement through YouTube or whatever. Then I used to like go and like
Right.
teach my friends and teach people. Then I realized that uh, the entire idea behind teaching somebody something is so empowering, right? Because you kind stick with that person for a longer time.
Right.
And
Right.
and when it comes to fitness itself, I think the entire idea is that you're changing somebody's life for the better.
Right.
And eventually I realized that, you know what, this is something I really want to do, and this is
Hmm.
something which I really love doing. And I started coaching people. of course, it has a different layers to this entire journey. Then like a lot of different instances which kind of shaped up my journey.
Right.
Um, but in a nutshell, I started with like training people for pocket money, and then I started doing certification while taking a loan from my mom, which I haven't repaid yet. Uh,
Okay.
and then I did my kettlebell certification with them.
Hmm.
Then I started coaching. I started freelancing. Then Nike kind of scouted me. I became a Nike coach, and then I started my own brand of strength and conditioning sessions. Uh, then eventually, because that kind of gave me the platform to meet a lot more people and kind of increase my horizon of knowledge, uh,
Hmm.
then I started. Then I kind of took some stakes in this company called as Monday Monk, where I am the technical head also, which is based out of Chennai. Then I'm
Nice.
starting my own, yeah, which I'm starting my own project with a partner of mine called as Boombox. And yeah, movement is going on. And yeah, man, I'm doing, and then Unlock is happening. So yeah,
So,
those things.
so my company has this. If you can see the mug there, that mug.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yep.
the company's official tagline is "No 9 to 5 hustle 24/7." And I think you are the real example of what a hustle and entrepreneur goes through. At you're doing corporate coaching, doing personal trainings, you're running
Yeah.
like almost 2 to 3 companies together, and you are in awesome shape, my friend. I
Oh
so
my
wish
God.
to at least just reach like the 30% of what you are in right now. I envy your Instagram photographs, to be honest, and I'm sure people would be loving those photographs out there. So, Kunal, my most important question to you is that, of course, you are an expert in the subject and you have reached a peak of what you're doing, right? And the biggest challenge that people have or face while talking about physical fitness is for them physical fitness is like a six pack or like a jar full of protein. So there are a lot of barriers when people start, and there's a huge challenge, so for a layman, if you can tell me, and because we're doing it for primarily for entrepreneurs, especially people who want to get started, maybe what is physical fitness according to you, and how can somebody get started on this journey of getting physically fit?
Yeah, see, we have spoken about this earlier also, I remember. But um,
Right.
the
Yeah.
the entire idea behind fitness is kind of uh, clouded under a lot of it's an information overload which is going on over there, right? A lot of people, a runner would say that
Yep.
okay, this is the only way to
Hmm.
be fit. Uh, say a person who is
Hmm.
doing bodybuilding would only say that okay, this is the only way to be fit. But I think
Right.
the entire idea behind being fit is getting older slower. I mean, like if you can delay your aging process over the period of time, I think then you are being as fit as possible. If you can just have a long-term goal of like playing with your granddaughter or like grandson and just making sure that you
Hmm.
can
Hmm.
survive all those trips that you have planned for your retirement and all those things, I think you are fit. And the entire uh,
Right.
the way that you can approach fitness can be subjective depending on the people who are like doing it, right? I mean, you would not be able to fall in love with something which I am in love with. I mean,
Right.
if I end up showing you a lot of kettlebell based drills, and if you don't align to those kind of kettlebell movements, you won't be able to be fit because that is something that is not going to drive you to push yourself through those discomfort. So you want to make sure
Right.
that you are being you're doing something which
Right.
is going to like make you happy in the end. And it all boils down to movement.
Hmm.
Like if you
Hmm.
are moving, if you are just making sure that if
Right.
you are enjoying the entire idea behind movement, I think you are going to be fit no matter what happens. What movement it is, what you are going to do, what kind of workouts you're going to do, or if you're just going to dance and do yoga, it doesn't matter. It all matters like if you're aging slowly, you're recovering faster, and you're enjoying the process of movement. I think that is what fitness is in a nutshell.
So is this the reason why your brand is called The Moment?
Yeah, man. I mean, it started off as as a word. What do you call it? I forgot. A word with two meanings, a two interpretation. So first, I started with
Okay.
the idea behind movement was to make sure that the way that fitness was perceived in this city or in this country
Hmm.
for that matter was that it was
Hmm.
always either it was absolute, right? Either you do this or this is the
Okay.
end solution for everything, or either you do that. Movement
Hmm.
basically the program
Hmm.
was so you can't hear me apparently. You can hear me, right?
There's
Somebody's
some
saying that
lag.
you
There's
can't.
some lag, but I think the voice comes little later on. Yeah, yeah. But there's some lag. Yeah. But I think it's going pretty fine. Maybe. Hmm.
Okay, okay, cool. I'm just going to carry on then. Uh, so the idea
Hmm.
behind
Hmm.
movement was to bring a
Hmm.
change. So
Yeah, yeah. Sure.
basically, the way that somebody perceives fitness, and so
Hmm.
that was it was like the movement. So earlier, the logo
Sure.
was supposed to be like this thing, a homonym. Yes, thank you, Paridhi. Okay, so it was a homonym, and then the other interpretation
Okay.
was just movement in general, and yeah, so
Right.
that was the two interpretation of what the movement was. And then it came across well,
Okay. So
and now it is where it is. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so I'm jumping a lot of questions here, but let me quickly once again ask you this thing. So, what exactly do you do at the moment, and how people can take advantage of it? Like, people can associate with you, or what kind of advantage they can get when they, if they want to get associated with the moment? What is that all about?
Okay, so movement basically was a structured strength and conditioning program where we focus on different elements on fitness on different individual
Okay,
days. So,
okay,
like it wasn't like uh, a one-stop solution for everything. It wasn't. It was supposed to be like strength on one particular day. We focused on like
okay,
only absolute strength. We focused on hypertrophy on the second day. We focused on power training. We focused
okay,
on HIIT. We focused on endurance training, and we
okay,
focused on conditioning on individual days. So if you're a runner, you would just want to attend a couple of those sessions because that would be a complementary workout for
right,
whatever you are doing. So it was open for everyone, but at the same time, if you would just wanted a general fitness routine, you can come for any 3 days. But if you are doing something which is specialized, we could guide you and we could help you
sure.
with a program that can complement you for your whatever training that you are doing.
Okay, fantastic. So now, when it comes to the fitness journey, and the biggest challenge or the mental block that people have, that they don't find motivation to get started, right? And then, of course, the multiple hurdles when we talk about the fitness thing, right? So I want to ask two questions. One, what's your motivation behind getting fit? Of course, as you said earlier that if you're able to, if you're fit, you'll be able to live a little more longer, right? So I think that
Yeah.
that's the biggest motivation. But in general, in a short, because we don't think about life in general on a daily basis, right? So one, how can people get motivated in general? And second, what is your motivation? What inspires you to be so passionate with what you're doing right now, that you go out, you have multiple companies, you work out like 3, 4, 5 times in a day, and then you run two startups of your own. So what's your motivation, maybe both on the fitness and the personal side? And how can people get motivated around, being more physically fit? So the answer that I'm looking for is, if somebody, let's say, is making notes out of this conversation, what line should he write on his whiteboard or pinboard today and stick it there, to read every day, that this is what would motivate me. So yeah, over to you.
Honestly, like, okay, like I don't want to be like I don't want to like go towards a profound part of the entire conversation because I mean, like for me it is like deeply rooted with a lot of like philosophical way of how I perceive life in general. But in the end, I think the way that I motivate myself, even on my rough days, is like I visualize myself how I want to be or how I would be if I push through this entire phase of discomfort, and that has really helped me to push through most of the
Okay.
days. Even when it comes to like a business venture, when it comes to like just opening a new class, where I know that for the first couple of weeks or couple of months, I will just have like one person showing up at the door. I would be like waiting, not like just on my phone, like just waiting at and looking at the door for like somebody else to come in. Uh, I have always visualized the best version of it and how I can make sure that I reach that best version, even if it is business based,
Sure.
even if it is like physicality based, or even if it's like psychologically based. I've always visualized that okay, this is what the best version is, and the only way to do or only way to achieve that best version is to make sure that A, I'm consistent, B, I'm disciplined. Because
Okay.
nobody's going to like see me. Nobody's going to be like uh, be there when those days are going on. Nobody's going to see me where I'm like
Right.
struggling, but they are going to see me when I
Right.
achieve the things which I wanted to achieve. And I think that has been the biggest motivation for me. And I hope people
Okay.
realize that the art of visualization and like the power of visualization is massive.
Okay, fantastic. See, so quickly, just to add, we have the reason why we started this series and we're doing these sessions with multiple experts is because most of the people who maybe a few of them are watching this and come from typically the startup community, they always talk about running a business or running a company, but they don't talk about things which will help them to reach there, which includes the mental health and the physical health and things like that. Because this is the only body you have. This is the only place you will ever be, right? So this is the reason why we need experts like you to tell us that other than all the work hours you put, I think this is also very important, and I think you very specifically pointed out a great thing, which is the art of visualizing and art of visualizing yourself in that position. I think it's a great motivational factor. Of course, you have already said that what motivates you. So Kunal, let's move on to a little more industrial, viewpoint, and then we'll talk about a few tips and tricks. Yeah, but before I jump there, two more quick things. One, guys, all those who are watching, if you have any questions for Kunal, please post them in the comments below. I'll be taking the questions after our basic conversation. And I already have received a few questions from people, Kunal, which I'll be picking up again later on once we finish the conversation, right?
Awesome.
So you've already spoken about the basic tips and all these things. So now let's talk about the general industry trend, right? Uh, uh, I know from a conversation talking about the fitness has become cool, you know.
Yeah.
So how do you analyze again, and if also importantly as an entrepreneur, how do you see what's happening in the world right now, what's happening in the country right now? So because people are training, doing Instagram training sessions, fitness is in the boom, people have started going gym regularly. How do you analyze what's happening and how can people be a part of this entire change at the moment?
Like, how can be people part of the, how can people be the part of the entire revolution of fitness which is happening in this world right
Yeah,
now
and,
at
and
this
what's
particular time?
happening and how do you analyze as a coach and an expert? How do you see what's happening?
Yeah, I think, as see, like, uh, right now, because of like, we thank social media for this, where
Right.
it, the entire social media has given every single one the platform to be something. Okay,
Hmm.
a lot of people earlier really disregarded fitness as something who, as something who just does thing because they just want to like stand out. They Fitness wasn't the go-to industry, or fitness wasn't. It was only classified as bodybuilding, and people who
Hmm.
used to do bodybuilding were only like were, uh, were looked at like from the corner of the eye, right? Because they used to stand out. Okay,
Hmm.
it wasn't cool. Then eventually the entire revolution started happening. Our actors
Hmm.
started making fitness cool. People started like
Right.
leaning down, and the our perception of how we view fitness kind of changed with physicality, that people
Hmm.
started showing up in our movies and stuff like that. And then
Hmm.
came social media. And when social media came along, people started realizing that, hey, this guy can do that while looking like this. I think that even I
Hmm.
would want to try this because I kind of look like that. And I think I
Hmm.
would want to do something like that. So
Hmm.
the idea of fitness becoming cool kind of started getting along. And this was
Hmm.
like, I'm talking about like 8 or 10 years ago when Instagram was just starting off.
Hmm.
And then eventually, it kind of caught on. People doing inspirational stuff, people doing crazy stuff. Your athletes started getting famous.
Right. Hmm.
Your fitness models started getting famous. People started
Right.
visualizing themselves as those kind of wanting to have those kind of physicality. And then it started just then it just an explosion happened. And right now I think that we are in the middle of that explosion. I think we are
Hmm.
just on the cusp of explosion. I still think that in fitness in India isn't like out there. I think it's just a
Right.
percentage of the population who is inclined into fitness as such. But in the
Hmm.
end, I think for the next 5 or 10 years, the growth in the industry is going to be exponential for sure. Uh,
Hmm.
and I mean, you can take my word for it. Like I remember the amount of people who used to come for my classes 6 years ago, and I remember
Hmm.
means I know the amount of people who end up I training up right now digitally. So it has been like a crazy jump.
Right.
So that being said, the jump has been crazy, and the entire notion of fitness becoming cool has caught on. So anybody who is doing fitness, if that person is running or if that person is doing, and the thing is, because they end up doing that, they talk about it. And if you talk about it on social media,
Right.
you kind of start getting like eyes on you, and then it starts getting on, and it's kind of like a weird addiction. It started off as a fad. It started off something that, hey, everybody's doing it, I should also be doing it. And
Right.
then they realize that, okay, we are actually enjoying it, and then they start really enjoying the entire process, and then they become a part of this entire massive community. So I gave you the analogy of how cigarette and fitness is very cool, right?
Right.
Like it's kind of goes hand in hand. So basically, how cigarette is it? It basically started with you start smoking, or somebody starts smoking because they look at other people and they find it
Hmm.
to be
Hmm.
cool, and they smoke and they get addicted to it. But the thing is, it is pretty
Right.
harmful for you. Of course, it is harmful for you. It's their cancer sticks. But the thing with fitness is, right now, uh, right now, what's happening is they see people working out. They also want to try and jump on that bandwagon. Then they
Hmm.
end up
Hmm.
doing some kind of fitness sessions. They realize that, oh,
Hmm.
this is the kind of changes my physicality has. This is the kind of changes that my health has, and I can actually stand out of the crowd because I'm doing something which is completely different. I feel badass, and they get addicted
Hmm.
to it. But the only difference
Right.
between cigarette and fitness is like fitness is really going to make you live longer, like
Right.
exponentially.
Absolutely. So how much time? And I think it's again a very big challenge because people would go to a gym or go to a run for like 10 days, and if they can't see a change, they really would give up on it, right? So as an expert, what is the minimum duration you think people should commit themselves before they start seeing change? Like, what is that, minimum basic duration you think that इतना तो यार करते ही हैं, मतलब अगर इससे कम किया, so the changes will not happen and you might not get a long term result. So what is that minimum duration you would suggest to people?
See, okay, like to quantify anything which is so subjective, depending on so many different aspects of your lifestyle, is so difficult, right? I
Right.
mean, like every single body is so different. Your body
Hmm.
would be totally different. My body would be totally different. The kind of uh, like the history that your body has had, the kind of things that you have exposed your body to has been completely different. Uh,
Hmm.
and uh, so your body might react to the kind of workouts that I end up doing differently, or your body might react to the kind of workouts that somebody else does differently. But you cannot quantify
Right.
the entire process of achieving a physical goal because, and I think that is the problem with every single one who wants to get into fitness, right? Because they always saying that, okay, I am giving myself 3 months, I'm giving myself 4 months, and I should be like there. And if I don't see results till that time, I'm
Okay.
not going to like continue this. But the problem is, in those 3 or 4 months, are you really like giving your 110%? Are you like making sure that your food is perfect? The kind of effort that you're putting into those workout is perfect. If you're drinking, how much are you drinking? Are your
Hmm.
habits really complementing that fitness journey? And
Hmm.
no matter what happens, like I think 6 months to 7 months is the time that is going to take you to fall in love with the entire process of like
Okay.
working out. Yep. I
Okay.
won't say physical changes because physical is very subjective. That is,
Okay.
you can have physical changes in a week's time
Okay.
if you have had a background with it, and you can have physical changes after 6 months. But no
Okay.
matter what happens, 6 months is the time that you should be giving yourself to develop or cultivate that kind of habit.
Right. Okay. So basically, you have to fall in love with the process, and I think that is how you will somehow be able to,
Yeah.
adapt that lifestyle. Okay. So I have another point here before we move on to the next question. How responsible is Bollywood for making fitness cool?
No, super responsible. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I was one of those guys who used to be like, yeah, he's doing that. Okay, he has taken stuff. He has like, ye looks up performance enhancing drugs later to look the way
Hmm.
that they
Hmm.
look.
Hmm.
But am I doing it? Like, do I have the guts to do those things for my profession? Like, I'm into
Hmm.
fitness and I'm not doing it. And I
Hmm.
realized that these guys really sacrifice a lot of things I mean,
Okay.
even if they end up taking some kind of PEDs or whatever that they end up taking,
Right.
the amount of dedication, the amount of torture that they put themselves through, the amount of
Hmm.
sacrifice that they have has
Hmm.
it's phenomenal. I can't even explain how phenomenal it is. And it shows. It shows on the screen. It shows how
Right.
they are. And it
Right.
the kind of reach that they have. I mean, you take any kind of celeb right now, like Indian celeb, which is like A-listers or whatever.
Hmm.
The amount of reach that they have, the one Instagram story might reach you around millions. And if they're reaching to millions, the
Like a
amount
million.
of
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, and even if they have like 1% conversion, and even if
Yep.
1% of that million is like being inspired by that one post, imagine the amount of people
Absolutely.
who they are inspiring on a like on a
Absolutely.
day-to-day basis. So yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
it has
Absolutely.
been like up there.
Fantastic. So now let's come to the core of this entire topic, which is entrepreneurs. So I'll tell you the biggest challenge entrepreneurs have, right? And you being one, I'm sure you can then, and you can also you're one of those examples who can break the barrier as well because you're an entrepreneur yourself, you run a company. Of course, you are into the fitness industry as well. But for somebody who's not into the fitness industry or is not into the active lifestyle mode, somebody like me who's in front of a computer like for 10 hours, 12 hours, 15 hours a day, and then so we work on a computer and then we kind of slog our asses in front of it. We just sit and watch Netflix or that's the idea
Yeah,
of chilling, right? So we're sitting
yeah,
almost like 15, 16, 17 hours a day in front of a computer, and that's how our lifestyle is. And I'll not rather just blame poor entrepreneurs who are starting the company in the earlier stages, because that is the dedication, hard work you need, right? And then time nahi hai, mood nahi hai, kaise karenge, are all these typical issues that entrepreneurs face or have. So I want to ask two things here. One, uh, how to tackle these challenges, right? And how do you resolve this entire situation? And then most importantly, how people can do home workouts and things like that. How can they adopt the lifestyle? Like what is the minimum barrier they need to cross before they get into the regime of making fitness, getting into the fitness uh, line or something like that. Yeah.
yeah. The thing with I'll just be very honest, and it might seem that I'm coming from a very biased perspective because I've been
Mm-hmm.
into fitness since the longest time. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but uh, the thing is, the amount that entrepreneurs end up investing in their project, no matter how big it
Mm-hmm.
is is crazy. But at the same time, you have to understand that in the end, the main massive unit of this entire thing or the entire empire that you would want to create starts over here, your body, right? So you have to make sure that you start at your home. You
Right.
start making sure that you are like building a fort that is going to
Hmm.
help you uh, get through this entire process. Look at the look at the richest man in the world, man. Like Jeff Bezos. He's like buff as shit, and the Amazon. It's probably $1 trillion company by now.
Yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that guy has been working out. And if Jeff
Hmm.
Bezos has time, and
Hmm.
if like people like Gary Vee has time, and if people
Huh.
like even Phil Knight at that for that matter, Phil Knight used to like run at least 7 miles or 5 miles every single day when
Mhm.
like for the most of his life when he was like still like running Nike at that time.
Mhm. Mhm.
So the point that entrepreneurs don't have time for their own physical fitness, I don't think
Mhm.
that I can align with that because
Okay.
nobody can not take out 30 minutes of their time uh,
Hmm.
to work on themselves, to be a better version of themselves, to make sure that their future is going to be better.
Hmm.
If coming from an entrepreneur it, like mentality itself, if you are not going to invest in yourself, how or are you not going to make the proper investments on yourself,
Hmm.
how are you going
Hmm.
to like make sure that you're going to invest in any other things which is going to
Absolutely.
like that kind
Absolutely.
of returns, right? This is the investment
Absolutely.
that you have to make for like the longest return. And
Right.
it's the thing is like it is such a long term investment that
Hmm.
you won't realize it right now, but after like
Hmm.
years and years of like working out, they'll understand how important this is. So that is one
Right.
thing. Second thing is like fitness is probably the most right now fitness since 2020 as of May 24th, right? 24th May 2020, it is the most accessible it has ever been in the entire human history. Like people
Okay.
like me, yeah. People like me, people, no matter who you look up to, Cristiano Ronaldo has his own workout
Hmm.
for free, for
Hmm.
free. Like I have my own workout, which is like out there. We have like everything out there, which is basically for free, and it's just on the push of some buttons. And
Hmm.
you all you need to do is just have enough space, which is not even like 6 feet by 2 feet, to make sure that you're getting a decent workout. And all you have to do is just invest 3 hours. Oh, sorry, I'm saying 3 hours. See,
30 minutes.
all you 30 minutes of your. I was saying 3 hours in a week. 3 hours in a
Right.
week.
3 hours in a week. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
3 hours in a week, or 3 to 4 hours in a week, or
Hmm.
30 minutes in a day, every alternate
Hmm.
day, to make
Hmm.
sure that you're still living a healthy lifestyle. Like
Right.
people
Right.
are doing crazy amounts of things, and fitness right now is probably the most accessible it has ever been.
Absolutely. So, the moment you say 30 minutes, what is that minimum? Okay, I think there's some lag or some break in the connection. I'll wait for this to get resolved. Okay, I think, can you hear me, Kunal? There's some lag happening at your end. Guys who are there watching us, can you quickly comment and tell me that are you able to hear me clearly? Is the stream fine? Can one of you quickly comment? I'm assuming my internet is working fine, but yep, can a few of you comment, please? Okay, okay, I'll add Kunal again. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Okay, yeah. So you were saying about that 30-minute thing, yeah. Let's
Yeah,
continue
so
from there.
like yeah, so it all boils down to like 30 minutes, and like everybody can invest 30 minutes of their time.
Sure.
That is like what, 2.5, 3% of the entire day?
Right,
Like
right.
less than that, yeah. Yeah.
So
And if you are not,
as
yeah.
an expert and a coach, what is tell to our people audience what is the 30 minute what is the minimum 30-minute workout they should be doing? So the reason I'm asking this question is I want to remove by this live at least I don't know how many are watching, but I want to remove all the barriers. So no gym, no dumbbells, no fancy shoes, just 30 minutes, no nonsense or meal preps and stuff. Just 30 minutes. So what is that minimum 30 minutes they should be doing so that they have no excuses left?
Okay, so I think that they should be dividing their workout into 4 parts.
Okay.
Uh, that means on 4 individual days, one day should be basically for strength, one
Hmm.
day should be basically for uh, cardio movement, which is like
Okay.
kind of they can run or they can like do rowing. I'm just talking about some
And there's
cardio
still some
movements.
lag, Kunal, at
Uh,
your end.
I have no idea why
Yeah.
that's happening, then, Nawaz. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. But I mean, it's fine. You can continue. Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Then one day you can focus on endurance work, which is like
Okay.
muscular endurance work, and one day you can focus on either HIIT or like bodybuilding on like kind of isolation stuff. That is just we are just talking about like general fitness, just to make sure that
Right.
you are feeling better, you're being able to make
Hmm.
sure that uh, you are kind of complementing whatever your
Hmm.
hectic lifestyle is with
Right.
the kind of workouts that you can be doing.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So also, I think I remember you spoke about physical fitness having some sort of a relationship with your mental fitness as well. Can you talk a little more about that as well? Can we go a little deeper into that?
Yeah. See, the thing with physical fitness is it always has a deeper impact when it comes to your psychology also. The reason why I'm saying it is because
Hmm.
no matter, see, I was always a skinny kid. I always, I was a skinny asthmatic kid and always had confidence issues. Now, I, to long story short, fitness basically
Hmm.
changed the way that people perceived how I appeared.
Hmm.
People used to always used to call me names because I was skinny and I was always
Hmm.
bullied and always
Hmm.
made sure that I was butt of all jokes when I was growing up. And the
Hmm.
thing with our
Hmm.
society
Hmm.
is we always have looks as a barometer of how a person is. Okay, so first things
Right.
first, physical fitness is always going to make sure that you're feeling confident, and
Right.
that is very important. Okay, it's going to change people's perception about you. It's going to make sure that you stand out. It's going to make sure that people appreciate you, compliment you,
Hmm.
and you yourself feel better
Hmm.
about yourself. So that is one part, which
Hmm.
is a
Hmm.
proper major player that why fitness is important when it comes to like changing the mentality of a person. Second thing is like all the different uh, hormones that a proper workout can release. Like for example, endorphins, and it kind of battles the high cortisol levels. Also, I spoke about it,
Right.
right? So
Right.
most of like all entrepreneurs are like brimming with cortisol because of all the kind of stress that they have. We are
Hmm.
losing our hair. We are like making sure that we are stressed out on every single thing which is happening in the world. And like
Hmm.
to be honest, Dilnawaz,
Hmm.
there isn't a dearth of stress in our life. Okay, what basically a workout
Right.
does is it makes sure that these high cortisol levels kind of tapers down because it is releasing good hormones like endorphins and stuff like that. It's making sure that your
Sure.
lung, your bone density, your entire health kind of gets better. And once you start feeling better physically, once you start
Hmm.
feeling better, stronger, and once you start being more active,
Hmm.
it really kind of transcends
Hmm.
into the way that you approach your entire day. And I think that is a major
Right.
player why anybody should be doing fitness.
Sure. So I think now I want to kind of navigate the entire conversation into a little different direction, which is not just around fitness, but also something around lifestyle, because a lot of people also commented about food. And this is one of a very common question. If I have to summarize like 4 or 5 questions that I received, all of them were around food. People wanted to know that how do they manage food, what is the role of food, what is the importance of food. They might be, lifting up 100 kgs in a gym, but if they're not eating clean, uh, how is this all connected together? How does it work out? And most importantly, as I said, like you said, that the tip that I can kind of take away from this session is that 30-minute every day, 3 hours a week should be the basic minimum requirement. How can people manage food? Let's talk about food now.
So with food is your body basically needs good amount of nutrition, like period.
Right.
Okay. Uh, now now when I say good nutrition, I'm talking about like good macronutrients and good micronutrients. Now when I say
Hmm.
macronutrients, they're like divided into three parts. I'm not going to go very technical about this, but
Sure.
basically your proteins, your carbs, and your fats. Okay.
Hmm.
Now these are like the building blocks of your body. Now, when I'm saying, then there is like a lot of vitamins there, and your calcium and other things, which is not supposed to be taken like massive amounts. These are called as micronutrients. So macronutrients and micronutrients together, they form your nutrition. Now,
Right.
when it comes to your body, when you're working out, you are breaking down tissues so that the next day, when you sleep, means when you're sleeping, there is something which is called as protein synthesis. Your
Hmm.
body takes on all these nutrients and makes sure that your muscle repairs itself and kind of gets stronger. And that is
Sure.
basically how fitness works. Okay,
Sure.
so it kind of it kind of breaks down, then it repairs itself, then it gets stronger. And you keep doing that till the body adapts to that kind of discomfort over the period of time.
Hmm.
Now, a major part, like the entire part, even if you're working out in for like 30 minutes, the remaining 23 minutes, the remaining 23 hours and 30 minutes of the
Three
entire
hours,
day,
30 minutes. Right. Huh.
yeah, you are just by yourself. You're not doing anything. And the only thing that you have
Hmm.
control over is your food. So if you're not eating good food, if you're not like uh,
Hmm.
fueling your body with right kind of nutrition, it's really going to affect you.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now, the thing that people go wrong with is making sure that uh, these macros, for example, protein, carbs, and fats, they don't really focus on getting the right amount of it. Okay.
Okay.
Now, most of our Indian diet doesn't have proteins in it. And of course, it's the cultural aspect of it.
Hmm.
And a lot of us are like vegetarian, and a lot of us really don't have access to a lot of proteins. Even when you're talking
Hmm.
about dal, legumes, and paneer, and all those vegetarian source of proteins, it's still not enough. Why it's not enough?
Hmm.
Because we still need 1.5 to say 1.7 grams of protein per kg of your body weight just to make sure that you're maintaining muscle mass. But if you're
Sure.
working out, you're breaking out down those muscles and you're getting stronger. So you need much
Hmm.
more than that, at least 2
Hmm.
grams or like 2.1 grams
Hmm.
of
Hmm.
protein per kg of your muscle mass.
Hmm.
Now, the
Hmm.
thing is, we don't get that kind of protein in normal Indian diet. And that's why we need to make sure that we are really using kind of supplements or
Hmm.
increasing our protein intake in some way or the or other way or possible. Now, that is
Sure.
one thing. The second thing is like every single thing that we eat is like carb based in Indian diet.
Hmm.
It's like roti, dal, not even dal, sorry, roti, rice, and every like you go out, some
छोले भटूरे.
G, everything. So our nutrition is like super imbalanced. And if it's
Imbalance,
so,
right?
yeah, and if it's so imbalanced, I think you really have to understand that do we really want this in the longer term and do we really think that we are going to achieve the things that we have to achieve while
Hmm.
eating the things that we are eating right now?
Hmm.
The reason why predominantly Europeans
Hmm.
are in a better shape
Hmm.
and because you look at the diet, they always have greens, proteins, and all those things
Right. Right.
set in their diet. And that has really helped them to achieve the kind of physicality over the period of time that they have.
Sure.
And
Sure.
they're taller, they're stronger, and like they're more
Yeah.
good looking.
So I have a another question on to add on to this, but would you mind turning on the light? It's getting a little dark.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
said.
Yeah. Super.
Awesome.
Okay. Nice. So now my next question is that again, when we listen to all these things, and of course, people who are watching, they'll quickly go to Google, go through the entire kind of thing that this is the protein I need, this is what I need, this is, and then they have a very complicated chart. For example, like you help people break down like a 30-minute thing, help the people break down the food thing. What is that minimum thing they need to eat and they can carry and it can be handy, because what we see on Google is extremely complicated, right? You have either have to go into meal prep, or you have to go and buy random stuff in terms of the grocery list, and which is not doable, right? So people, especially entrepreneurs who are on the run, lack of time, early stage, you don't have too many people to manage your stuff, people who are not married, or people who are even married but with young kids, again managing multiple things. Simplify this all, that how can people manage this all together, especially entrepreneurs?
See, there's this one beautiful rule of like eating food, okay? That is like one hand rule, okay? So you should be using this amount of protein in your diet
Mm-hmm.
in your one meal. Okay, so this is like the
Mm-hmm.
amount of protein that you should be having. So if it's like say a chicken breast, it should be like your palm size of chicken breast. Okay,
Okay.
if you're having carbs, it should be this much,
Okay.
and if you're having fat, it should be this much.
Okay.
Okay, if you can just boil that down into every single meal, I think that would be enough to make sure that they're still maintaining a healthy lifestyle. Okay,
Okay.
now that is just giving that in a nutshell. Of course, if you have like a marriage which is going to come and you have to like prepare yourself and stuff like that, you always have to make sure that you're kind of consulting a professional, and you always have to make sure that you are like customizing your diet according to your own lifestyle because as I
Hmm.
said, right, everybody is different. Now that being said, you have to make
Right.
sure that as I said, in order to make sure that you're reaching your goals, no matter if it's like weight loss or weight gain, you have to
Mm-hmm.
figure out first of all that how many calories are you burning in a day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the
Mm-hmm.
simple way of making sure that you know how many calories you're burning in a day is
Mm-hmm.
Google. Okay,
Hmm.
Google
Okay.
basically gives you an estimate that okay, just Google that okay, how many calories am I burning in a day? Then Google will give you a calculator.
Sure.
Okay, so it will ask you your height, your lifestyle, and of course, a lot of us will try to put
Hmm.
in we have a active lifestyle, but don't. Not most of us we have an active lifestyle. Some of us
Right.
like really are like we are
Right.
not. Yeah. So put it properly. Once you end up doing that, you have a proper calorie count. Okay, so for example, I would be burning around 2,200 or 2,500 calories in a day. Now, if I want to make sure that I'm gaining muscle or gaining weight, I should be having 10 to 15% more calories than I am burning in a day. So it's called as calorie surplus. But if I
Right.
have to make sure that if I'm like
Right.
want to get slimmer, I want to kind of tone down a bit, I should be having 10 to 15% less
Sure.
calories in a day. And I should be continuing this till I reach the desired.
Right.
Okay. Okay, cool. You can listen to me, right?
I can hear you. I can hear you. Yeah.
Awesome.
There's some
So
lag
yeah, that
happening,
is
but
in a
I'm
nutshell.
fine with it. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Okay.
beautiful.
So, okay. So, can you name a few things in terms of food that people can keep handy? Because again, thanks to this lockdown, at least, I can say that I have the privilege to say this that we're eating clean food or better food now. We've stopped going out and we're not eating all that junk we used to eat on the roadside or outside in restaurants. But what after this? Once this lockdown gets over, we again go back to a normal lifestyle. If somebody learns today that okay, he needs to eat clean, and I think eating clean is the biggest challenge. What should entrepreneurs or what should people on the run, on the go, should keep handy so that they're able to maintain a consistent clean diet so that they get the benefit in long run?
So you're talking about like snacks that somebody can keep handy, right?
Maybe snacks, maybe food options, maybe if I have to, let us say, eat out at a restaurant, what is that lowest hanging thing that I should be eating, which doesn't
Yeah.
affect me much. So rather than a chow mein or a chola bhatura, as I said, what is what
Yeah.
is the replacement is the question.
I think once you realize that you don't need to have processed foods and once you don't need
Hmm.
to have refined sugar and once you kind of
Hmm.
eliminate all those things from your diet, you will see massive amounts of
Hmm.
changes. That is one thing. So when I
Right.
say refined sugar or when I say processed
Hmm.
food, I'm talking about like all your junk food, which is like laced in fats. Once you end up eliminating
Hmm.
that, every other option which is like properly homemade or anything which is like uh, organic for that matter, I think you can really have those things. For
Sure.
example, if I want to have uh, say a snack while I'm like watching a movie, I would rather have popcorns because that would be a healthy option, but not the butter or popcorn, not the cheese popcorn, but the normal
Not the butter,
popcorns.
of course. Right.
Yes.
Right.
See that is the beauty of it, right? Because the element of just adding a butter to it for the flavor part of it really adds a lot more calories.
Hmm.
And once you add a lot more
Hmm.
calories to your diet, it kind of really messes the entire structure up of whatever your diet is. So that is one thing.
Sure.
The
Hmm.
second thing is like make sure that you have a lot of proteins in your diet. When I say
Hmm.
proteins, now, they're supposed
Hmm.
to be coming from either a meat source or a fish source or from a vegetarian source. But make sure that you have a lot of them because once you start really bombarding your body with, I'm say bombarding in Indian terms,
Hmm.
because once you start bombarding your body with a lot of proteins, you realize
Hmm.
that you don't really are, means you're not hungry, your body is like happy, it's
Okay.
self-sufficient, it's like making sure that, okay, it's like the blood sugar levels are low, you're not feeling hungry, and that really helps you. So having a lot of proteins in your diet, I think that would really help. And having complex carbs. Now, when I say
Okay.
complex carbs, that would be basically having anything which is like brown or like red or ignoring all the whites. So even if you're having like pasta, have like brown pasta rather than having like white pasta. If you're having now,
Okay.
I don't know about the bread part. I've heard a lot that brown bread is like worse than white bread and all those things. But for me, I think it works with placebo. I am happy with the brown bread. I have a lot of Okay, I'm gone again now. Okay, I'm here, right? Awesome.
Sorry? No, no.
I'm
You're
okay.
audible. Yeah, absolutely audible. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Huh.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so your rotis, chapatis, and everything which is like homemade really, really helps you in making sure that your body is filled with good nutrition
Hmm.
and something which
Hmm.
is really going to give you
Right.
energy for the longer term. Multigrain bread, yes,
Okay.
that would really help
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
Oh,
So somebody, I had a question that I'll yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, oats and all those things are really going to make sure that you're full, and yeah, it's going to
Mhm.
make sure that you're happy.
Okay, so somebody asked a question that effects of mask while jogging, because the mask is kind of a kind of compulsory now. Like, how do you analyze this? Is it like good, bad? Can people wear a mask while jogging?
Oh, that was scary, na? That episode which happened. Like somebody actually kind of collapsed while jogging while wearing a mask, apparently.
Oh, is it? Oh, is it? No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
hear of that. Okay,
Yeah, I
okay.
kind of hate it. So the thing with masks is it's like, of course, if you are looking to filter viruses, if you're
Hmm.
looking to filter which is that small, imagine the amount of airflow which is being obstructed
Sure,
when you are like doing that. And when you're running, you are supposed to be intaking a lot more oxygen than you normally do, and that is
absolutely.
really going to affect you. And if you're jogging and if you're like working at say around 65 to 70% of your maximum capacity of your heart rate, or if you're like jogging for longer, which is going to like 70 to 80% of maximum capacity of your heart rate, you are really not taking in oxygen and you're basically suffocating yourself.
Hmm.
So you shouldn't be doing that. That is for certain. So
Okay,
yeah, like don't
okay.
wear a mask
And
while
somebody also asked
jogging. I
that
mean, don't jog.
don't jog. Okay, okay. Or maybe
Yeah,
do a
go
home
ahead.
workout, right? Okay. Somebody also asked
Yes.
that again, and it might be again a reiterative question, but how to maintain consistency? Like, if you have to quickly summarize that for somebody in one line,
How to maintain
what is the minimum
consistency?
thumb rule for maintaining consistency?
Showing up, showing like be accountable
Okay.
for somebody. Like the reason why professionals are
Hmm.
professionals is because they make sure that you are accountable. Okay, like if you are signing up for
Hmm.
my class, you would make sure that you are showing up. Reason being because I'll drop you a message that hey, we have a class at this time. All of us are joining in. You
Hmm.
need to come in. Okay. My job is not only to make sure that you are being coached. My job is not only to make sure that you are reaching your fitness levels the way that
Hmm.
you had desired for. My job is also to make sure that I'm being a part of your entire journey. Okay, so
Hmm.
earlier where it was like a one person journey, it becomes a bilateral combination of me also helping
Hmm.
you through reaching your entire uh, goal. So that is one thing. Second thing is like
Sure.
be disciplined. Be disciplined as much as possible.
Hmm.
Make sure that you have short-term goals. Once you have short-term goals, you can always have those uh, short-term goals as like checkpoints in your entire journey.
Hmm.
So uh, the reason why I'm saying so that okay, like when I was a young kid, like I always was working out and I never had like lines on my arms. And one day I started getting lines on my arms because I was like working out that hard. I celebrated it. I was like super happy. I like made sure that every single photo which is being taken, I used to like flex my arm and do all those things. And
Okay.
that really kind of fueled the fire in my entire process because I realized that,
Hmm.
hey, this is really making me happy. Imagine what's going to
Hmm.
happen if I really reach those kind of bigger goals I have set for myself. And once you
Sure.
start really setting short-term goals, it's really going to really have a long-lasting effect on your entire journey. So, yeah, that is one thing.
Sure.
So I've said two things. One last thing that I would like make sure that you understand, all of you guys who are listening, like uh, you cannot be always motivated. You always have to understand that
Hmm.
action breeds motivation. In the end, if
Hmm.
you don't commit to it, you are never going to be motivated because nobody is going to go and like wake up from the bed and like, hey, like, okay, let's do this. Let's torture myself and let's make sure that I'm dying today and let's kill myself. You really have to
Hmm.
make sure that you're acting on it. And the only way that you can act on it is by staying as disciplined as possible. So discipline first, and eventually that will trickle down to the motivation. And once you realize that, okay, I have been disciplined enough, and once you realize that I have reached my short-term goals, I'll be
Sure.
motivated, and that has really helped me.
Absolutely. I think that's a great insight, Kunal. Thank you so much for sharing like everything. I think I have five more like 4 more minutes. I'll quickly ask one more question, which is out of the entire it's a very different question, but let's see how do you answer that. So if there's somebody who's watching this and that person wants to kind of get into the fitness career or want to
Hmm.
be a fitness entrepreneur,
Hmm.
what where to get started from? What do you think?
I think this industry is being driven only through passion. Um, I mean, as much as
Okay.
like if you're thinking that like anyone for that matter in any industry, I'm just saying this because I've like really fell in love with this thing, and I've realized that if I'm doing things for the monetary aspect of it, people might think that okay, this industry is
Mm-hmm.
booming right now, so I should just venture into this industry because it's good money.
Sure.
But at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
the industry which is always ever evolving, and industry which really thrives on the kind of services that you always have to offer, which is deeply rooted with the kind of journey that you've had, I think you
Mm-hmm.
really need to be passionate about it. Uh, Simple, like
Okay.
the only reason why my clients and my consumers are happy is because I can resonate with them at emotional level. I know how it is to struggle. I know how it is to,
But I think that's so sorry. I'm just cutting you because of we're just about to wrap
yeah,
the live and we're running
yeah,
against
yeah,
time now. But I believe that's more at a level when once you've analyzed it all and you're already in the game, right? I'm saying if somebody would say that I want to be a fitness entrepreneur, what is the first step he should be taking? What is that for? So for example, let us say if I give you my example, if you have to be a tech entrepreneur, the first thing you should know is learn how to code, right? There's no that's
yeah,
the first thing, right? If you don't know how
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
code, you can't be a tech entrepreneur. So similarly, in your case, what is the first thing you would recommend somebody to get into the fitness entrepreneurship line?
Like, like you are your own guinea pig, and make sure that you are doing whatever you're doing. First, work on yourself and achieve the goals
Okay,
that you have set for yourself. So that's what, like in the
right.
end, it all boils down to passion, right? Like if you're passionate about like
Hmm.
reaching a certain goal, you will start making sure that you own your own guinea pig, and you will work that hard. And eventually,
Hmm.
when you start working that hard, you will start falling in love with the entire process. And then you will do the certifications to make sure that you are honing your knowledge and honing your skills and getting
Right.
better. And I think that is the entire process to be successful in this industry. Because that has, I think, I mean, of course, there are like different ways to go about it. People end up doing
Hmm.
a 2 day certification and they open their gyms because they are like heavily funded and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's 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 not going to help you survive in an industry which is always ever evolving, which is
Right.
based only like on people's reaction and
Hmm.
on people's experience that you're offering them, and that only comes with passion.
Cool. So I think
Awesome.
that sums it all. I think we had a fantastic chat, Kunal. So let me, before we wrap, thank you so much for joining. To quickly summarize, I think we spoke about goals, inspiration, motivation, 30-minute workout, eating clean, power of visualization. We spoke a lot about food, lifestyle. I think I think you have a lot of knowledge and this could have continued for hours, but I know I can't take a lot of time of yours.
Ah, man.
So thanks a
No,
lot
we
for
should do
signing
this
it up,
again sometime.
guys who are just watching. I think yes, we will, and we'll be in touch. You have my number. Let's get connected more often, and let's see what we can do together. Guys, just on the record, Kunal has been really a nice gentleman. I think I reached out to him on Instagram, and he was courteous enough to reply and then talk and sign up for this. And it all just happened like what past 7 days. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, Kunal. Really appreciate you giving your time and signing up for this and coming for this. And let's be in touch. Let's plan this more. And my best wishes to you.
Yes.
Good luck for your
Same to
workout.
you.
Okay.
Stay safe,
Thank you so
guys.
much,
I'm
Kunal.
super happy that there was. I'll see you.
Thank you so much. Bye. Take care. Bye bye. And thank you so much for watching today's live. Next session, we'll do something more exciting. So thank you for signing up today. Bye bye. Have a good night.